Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Sunday, January 3rd, Monday, January 4th. For those of you across the pond and beyond, welcome to We Are Paradox Media. This particular show is Late Night in the Rockies. We also on Mondays have Coffee and a Chat with Sleepy Dave. And then on Fridays, we have Doc Skinner with 1028 Live. We got a lot of good stuff going on. Late Night in the Rockies is, of course, on Saturdays and Sundays, so it's a weekend show. But I'm so glad, if you're listening right now, that you could join us this evening. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and I hope you guys had an awesome weekend so far. It's been pretty chill here, pretty relaxed. Yeah. It's Sunday Fun Day, guys, so I'm still in my pajamas, and I'm wearing my Sunday Fun Day hat. Haven't worn this thing in quite a while. I think since my SOAR days, SOR. But if you're listening right now, you're listening live on Spreaker.com. You can also find us, I want to say Periscope, and I tried to do Periscope tonight because I am by myself. Oh, here I go. So let me put this up real quick. Okay, so Periscope is actually going bye-bye. So I decided that I'd give it one last go, and since I'm talking to myself and I don't have to worry about feeding the sound of the guest through to Periscope, then I can do it this way. So it's awesome. I do get to do a last minute one. I see 1028 Live, Doc Skinner on there, John, a couple other people. Yeah, Periscope is going away. Rest in peace, Periscope. I'm really going to miss it. Unfortunately, I didn't get my sound fixed to where they could hear me and the guest at the same time without having an echo through the system. Even when I tried with like a hookup, as far as an audio hookup, yeah, there was still an echo. It was so insane. So yeah, there's different things I need to do, and with the COVID-19, I'm at home and I'm having to be the teacher, the preacher, the doctor, the dishwasher, the cook, all those good things. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been interesting. We're not playing catch up anymore on homeschool, so that's awesome. But Spreaker.com right now live. We're also on Periscope tonight. Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Tumblr, SoundCloud, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and just recently we got picked up by KPNL, which is another paranormal network that puts out different paranormal stations. And so yeah, you can find them at kpnl-db.com. So tonight, I am going to try not to bore the pants off you. I'm going to try to be awesome like Doc. Like, Doc does this all the time on Facebook, and basically does his own thing and doesn't have to rely on guests. And I generally like to have guests because I like to have company. I do have a form of social anxiety, so for me it's like kind of weird being by myself. Also, my headphones that I'm usually wearing is kind of like a comfort thing to me, but no headphones tonight, so that's interesting as well. But yeah, it was an awesome Christmas. We actually did good last minute and were able to get the kids some Christmas gifts. Don't laugh at me, Doc. I'm feeling awkward. Ugh. But yeah, we had a really good Christmas. Let me try to adjust this thing. Sorry. Un momento, por favor. Trying to get the right angle to where I don't look like I feel. Man, we got like 6 peeps over here. And nobody's in the chat over here in Spreaker tonight. It's like, where is everybody? I did not do ad for tonight because, like I said, it's just me, myself, and I trying to entertain the masses. But yeah. Okay, so a little bit about me. Let's do without the paranormal. This is what I tell a normal person that I don't know or trust. I'm 42 years old. I was born in Arkansas, moved around a lot after my mom was killed by a drunk driver at the age of 5, almost 6 I think she was 33. Then shortly after, my dad sent us for a vacation in Arkansas. Never sent back for us, so we ended up living with our grandparents on the farm in Arkansas for a while. And then my aunt and uncle came and got us and took us all the way back to Washington State, lived there for a while. My uncle was a nurse. He was really amazing. He decided to come back here to the Four Corners area of Colorado. Thank you, Celia, 92. I don't know. Hopefully I pronounce it right. Moved to the Four Corners area of Colorado, and man, I lived there till I graduated. Lived in Glenwood Springs for a little bit, back to Cortez, joined the military, so I was in the Marine Corps for a bit. Got an honorable medical discharge, had a little one. She's 21 now. Holy shnikes. Let's see, moved back to Arkansas, moved to Tennessee, then back to Colorado because my dad was really sick. And he ended up passing away, and then luckily later on, because we never did it in earlier years, my aunt adopted me, so now she's my mom. So if you ever hear me talk about my mom and you're like, wait a minute, I thought you said your mom died. Well, this is the mom that was there for me when my mom couldn't be. So she was amazing. She still is an amazing person. But yeah, I was adopted a couple years ago. That was awesome. That happened in Phoenix, Arizona. I wish I was there right now because it wouldn't feel like I'm in the icebox once more. But yeah, let's see. What else? Okay, so now I'm a house mouse. I'm house mom. When I have the opportunity to, I work security, but yeah, due to COVID, that's been cut down by quite a bit. So yeah, I have 4 kids, 3 in home, now 4 in home. Going back to homeschool, I believe, tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. And I'm married. Been married for, I think, 16, almost 17 years. And been together with this fella for 20, going on 21 years. No, almost 20. Almost 20 years. Okay, so that's what I would tell somebody that I just met without sharing the paranormal point. This used to always scare me because as a kid, telling people that I thought I knew and could trust about these stories, they'd be like, stay away from her. She's a freaking weirdo. She's talking about demons and such. Which I never said the word demon. I talked about ghosts, but a lot of religions believe that ghosts are demons, so on and so forth. So I went into the paranormal closet, so to speak. Years later, in 2012, my daughter's friend went missing on Thanksgiving break. He had actually lived here for a while. They went to school together, went to an after-school church program together, and this kid had to move away to Colorado Springs. His mom and dad got divorced. She moved away. He stayed here. He was actually court-ordered to go visit for Thanksgiving. And so he comes back here for Thanksgiving, and the day he arrived was never seen or heard from again. And I could go into that too. His name is Dylan Redwine. Finally, we're going to trial, but it keeps getting pushed out. So we're waiting for the new trial date. But at least Mark Redwine is in jail again. And I do believe in the guilty until proven innocent, but I know this motherfucker is guilty, so, I cannot tell a lie. I cannot lie about this. But yeah, so that's when I decided to come out of the paranormal closet. I can see, hear, and speak to the dead, and this has been going on since I was a baby, but my very first memory was when I was, I want to say 4 years old. No, 5 years old. I was 5, almost 6. And I've always had an issue with sleeping due to growing up on scary movies, having different paranormal experiences, and I think it's just in my genetics to be a night owl because my kids are night owls too. So, yeah, it's really a late hour when I do go to sleep. My bedtime right now is about 4 o'clock in the morning, between 4, 5, and 6, but generally 4 o'clock in the morning is when I punch the clock and I get some dream time in. first paranormal experience that I remember could be explained. Do I want a potato? Well, I would take a potato, Patrick, with some garlic salt and butter, and some rosemary would be good too. And some fresh garlic in there, minced, that'd be nice. Okay, so going back to what I was speaking of. Let's rewind. Okay, so first one you could explain as Patrick says he was born a potato. Let's cut on this first paranormal experience and go to a potato story just for our friend Patrick on Periscope, because Periscope's leaving us. Why? Okay, so we have a neighbor named Lisa, and she's like my sister, and she she comes over all the time. She doesn't even knock, and so I had my nephew and his old lady and their kids living with us for a while. And it's actually my husband's family. But, you get married and those attachments are your attachments too. But so Arthur's in here one day and he grabs a potato and he puts two toothpicks in the bottom, 2 toothpicks in the side. And he's like, hey, look, I made a little statue of Lisa. Because she had... Okay. Before she got her lap band surgery or whatnot, was quite plump for as small as she is. Oh no. They was fresh taters. But yeah, she's lost a lot of weight since then, so the potato really doesn't explain how she used to appear, but that's pretty funny, Patrick. I'm glad you got away with that fresh tater. Fresh taters are potent. They're potent. Okay, so going back to my first, let's say, paranormal, or you could call it supernatural or whatnot. No, I'm not Wiccan, but I believe my mother was. But like I said, she died when I was 5, almost 6. So, no, I just believe in the paranormal and Bigfoot. Like, you look around, okay, I got some artwork on my wall from Dennis. I got my kids up there having like a space war, Bigfoot, Big T for Tess. Some damn Allens on the wall. I got this sugar skull on the wall here. And if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, you could check it out on Periscope at TessaTNT. But I got this in New Orleans this last year when I got to go. It was awesome. I got it on the air sign, Stranger Things. I got my native drum back there. Tesla, my very first crush. Just kidding. Beetle's sand painting. Unicorn that my friend who killed himself made for me shortly before he killed himself. Got a little alien back there behind the Scooby-Doo plate. And then there's a piece of paper that says, be a unicorn in a field of horses. Which I totally agree with. Hey, Sleepy Dave. Sleepy Dave's all alone over here in Spreaker. I gotta type to him really quick. Anywho's, okay, so going back to my very first paranormal, could be considered supernatural or whatnot experience. So I'm sitting on my mom's lap, so I'm 5 years old. The power's gone out because in Arkansas you get a lot of different thunderstorms. You can get tornadoes, different stuff like that. So we're all sitting around in a circle. We're telling ghost stories or different random stories, and all of a sudden my mom's like, shh. And we're looking around like, what? And she says, shh, be quiet. And of course, I'm 5 years old, and I'm inquisitive, and I'm like, what? What's going on? Why do I need to be quiet? Like, we're just telling stories. So she puts her hand over my mouth, and she points, and there's this fireball. Okay, so imagine a power line. So you got a pole going down, and then you got the cross thread going. You got the lines coming off of it from this field above. Right below that is a dirt road that comes around into our driveway. This is our yard, and it, goes into a holler, as they say in Arkansas. And then we're in this brick house, which I didn't realize, like, how tiny it was till I went back. But it is so small for a family with 5 kids and 2 adults. Oh, my. And so I see this fireball right in the middle of the T of the power line. They're right here in the middle. Just sitting there being all fiery mass. All of a sudden, without any sign, it just shoots towards our house, smacks on the porch, and disappears. My mom's holding me tighter and holding my mouth tighter and just like, be quiet, don't say anything, don't make a noise, be quiet. All of a sudden, this thing comes up through the floor, right in the middle of all of us. It gives me goosebumps on my leg right now. Sorry, I have to rip my goosebumps. Moves slowly from the living room to the entry of the dining room / kitchen area. My brother had gone to get the laundry out of the dryer. Yes, we did have a dryer in the holler. And took it out because, the power went off. They're going to get wrinkled, so on and so forth. Hey, Sister Sandra. So my brother got all the clothes. He's walking out into the hallway. Comes out and freezes because he sees this fireball. And the fireball sees him. And he's making noise. So automatically this thing shoots at him. He drops the basket and flattens on the floor. The fireball hits the back wall, which is brick, luckily, and flies out. All right. Never saw it again. I've seen other fireballs, but they're contained, and I think these are alien orbs. That's a later story. I was going to read you guys some urban legends, but I'm kind of on a roll right now. I feel sorry for Sandra and Sleepy because they've both heard all my shenanigans before. But I'm telling my friends on Periscope about this because Periscope's about to leave, and I was so sick this week. Didn't plan anything for the weekend. My beautiful friend Mia came, hung out with me last night. We talked about all kinds of random shenanigans. But tonight, it's about us. So the second paranormal experience after that was in the same house. It was about a week or so, I want to say a week or two, before my mom had her car accident. And that's going back to me staying up. I'm always the last one asleep. No matter where I'm at, who I'm with, even my paranormal team, I'm always the last one asleep if I sleep. And this night, I'm just laying there in bed. The boys are in one room. My mom had 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. And me and my sister are in another room. And she's asleep. Everyone's gone to bed. And I'm just laying there looking out the door. And I don't know if you guys remember those old, beer clocks. So it used to be like a portrait. And this particular one had a stream going through it. Green grass, beautiful trees, some sunlight coming through the background. So you could see the sun glimmering off the little stream going through. I can't see this particular clock, but I can see the light of this clock bouncing off the other wall and onto the other wall, and just kind of staring out into the hallway, daydreaming when I should be dreaming. And all of a sudden, I hear footsteps. And to me, it sounded like a woman in high heels. And it's getting closer and closer. And so I call out, I'm like, Mom? And no response. More steps, getting closer and closer. Mom? Still no response. And I'm like, well, maybe she can't hear me over the clip-clop of her heels or who knows what's going on. I can't believe she's gotten past the door thus far because I'm awake. I would have seen her. I've been staring into the hallway. Maybe it was she was so fast and not wearing her heels at the moment, so I didn't hear or see her go by. And so I call out really loud, Mom? And right in the middle of saying Mom, I'm like, Ma? And I could not even finish it because this woman appears right in front of my doorway. She's about this far off the ground. She's wearing an 1800s era lace black dress. Looked like a button up in the front, the frilly collar. She also had one of those lacy headpieces that go down into a veil in front of her. And she's holding her hands in front of her. The way the heels looked reminded me of, and I've never seen them until this last year in actually a gun and bullet and pawn shop store, these 1800s era high heel boots. And I'm like, oh my God, even same size. They were so small. These feet were so small. Same size, looked exactly the same, except for these were perhaps black. She stops right in my doorway. She slowly turns and looks at me. And then she slowly turns and looks back down the hallway. and then continues to walk until she hits my parents' room, and then she opens the door. You can hear her go in, and then she closes it behind her, and then I'd never seen her again. About a week, 2 weeks later, my mom got into her car accident, so I attributed it to two things. One time I got in trouble because I was messing with my sister's Michael Jackson record, where he's like laying on the black floor and in his white suit before he even got all that plastic surgery. And so I was messing with her record and her record player and stuff. I'm 5, almost 6, and of course, like, I'm going to mess with my older sister. She's about, I want to say 8 years older than me. So yeah, I got in trouble, hid in the closet. My mom was going to whip my butt with a belt because she told me too many times. But yeah, I ended up getting a spanking, and then I remember being pissed off and then saying, I just wish she would die. And as soon as I said it, like, I covered my mouth and I was like, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. So I thought it could be that, or it could be the lady that showed up, which was about the same time. So are these connected? Like, trying to figure this out all my life. Come to find out later on, it was something completely different. But yeah, she knew exactly when and where she's going to die. She didn't want me with her because she knew that she was going to die that day. She dropped me off at it was her friend and my sister's friend's house because she didn't think I'd make it. And my sister, I think she was 13 at the time. So yeah, she's about 8 years older than me. Being a teenager, very argumentative, would not take no for an answer. And so my mom took her and her friend with her, got into the car accident right exactly where she knew it would be. And my sister said that the weirdest thing she ever saw, because we're out in the middle of, it's not Prairie Grove, not Springdale, Siloam Springs, Arkansas. So we live on this bend of the highway, down in a holler. And this drunk driver comes around the bend, whacks into my mom's car. My sister said the weirdest thing before this whole accident happened. They went to the market, or the little corner store that was in our area. I can't believe there's even one there. It's all shut down now. And I'll share some creepy pictures that I took of that last time I went. But yeah, there's a black stretch limousine, and a guy wearing a tuxedo, shades, hair slicked back, very handsome, smoking a cigar. My sister saw this right before the accident. She doesn't even remember after the car hit them. She got out. She ran to this market, which was, I would say, 50 yards from the highway. Called us on the payphone. Pause there. Okay, so my mom drops me off. I don't go into this house. I go into this lady's car. I'm sitting there. I'm crying. The rain is pouring. And then all of a sudden, a while later, the rain stopped. The sun started to come through the clouds. And I just felt this wave of peace over me. So I felt better. So I'm like, I'm done throwing my fit. I'm going to go in the house now. And as soon as I open the freaking door to the house, everybody's running around like lunatics, screaming, crying, getting their stuff together. My sister, go back to where she's at. My sister ran with a broken hip 50 yards to this payphone, does not remember one step. She called where we're at. Oh, sorry. That was my bitty boomer speaker. I thought I turned it off, but I guess I didn't. Creepy. Okay, so she goes to the payphone. She calls us. We've been in an accident. Mom's really hurt. Come get us. Please come help us. Come get us. And then she collapsed. She still to this day, does not remember doing that. But that's what happened. So that's how we got word of it. And we arrived on the scene as they were pulling away with my mother in the ambulance, and there's white sheets on the highway, and they didn't let me out because I'm only 5. And but I remember seeing white sheets on the ground, the ambulance pulling away. They're out there running up to see what's going on, and I think it was my sister and her friend. Her friend got her finger severed, but they were able to reattach it. Good thing. My sister had a broken hip, and who knows what else. Like, we've all got a lot of issues from that. And my mom had brain damage to the point that the doctor said she'd never come back from that. And my dad knew if she did come back, it wouldn't be the way that she wanted to be, because my mom is very free-spirited and a very spiritual individual. Not religious, but spiritual. And she wouldn't want to be a vegetable or whatnot the rest of her life. I personally think like I would have waited longer and seen what happened, because I don't think doctors know everything. I think they know a lot and they do a lot of helpful stuff, but they also do a lot of hurtful stuff. Depends on who you're in bed with. How do you take that Hippocratical oath? It's all up to that individual. But yeah, they ended up pulling the plug on my mom, and we lived in the house for a while till we can get it all cleaned out, and then we sold it, which I hated because I was so used to being. It was kind of like our own little world. Like, we had this awesome brick house and siblings riding their dirt bikes, catching snakes. I want to say aphids, where they'd come out of their shells and you find the little aphid shells. And in the winter, it was like a magical winter wonderland. And next door was this old lady that always made angel food cake. Hey, Dennis. And so we'd go over there and hit her up, and she'd feed us angel food cake. And up the road was this lady named Janie that we knew, and it was just so different from what I'd ever known. I didn't go to kindergarten because we lived all the way out there, but then we moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas, right next to, not too far from, I want to say right next to, but I walked quite a ways to get there a lot of the times when I would go walking around as a kid. But yeah, I moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas. The only paranormal experience I had in that house was Bloody Mary with my older siblings. Okay, so when my mom died, me and my little brother went with our dad, moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas. My sister and my two older brothers went with their dad. I didn't see my brother Gary ever again until briefly at my sister's wedding, and then 30 years later, bought him a ticket, got him out here for a white Christmas, and guess what? It did not even freaking snow an inch. It was ridiculous. So yeah, he was out here for 2 weeks. He helped me finish my bathroom, and we had so much in common. It was insane. I think it's just genetics and the pull from the gene pool, but we had so much in common. It was awesome. Okay, so Fayetteville, Arkansas. I remember the Bloody Mary experience. Me and my sister and my brother Greg, who would come and stay with us sometimes. They had a couple friends over. Of course, they've probably had beers and smoking weed or whatnot. I don't know. I was too young to even realize. I'm just having fun. Yeah, let's do Bloody Mary, because I grew up on scary movies. I've experienced the paranormal. It's one of the things I love. Even my kids today, same way. They love scary movies. They love the paranormal. They talk about their experiences. And I'm just glad, like, I'm open for them to be able to do that. But, okay, so Bloody Mary, we're in this bathroom. And it was a pretty cool setup. It was a really nice house that my dad got. And I think it was from the insurance or whatnot from my mother passing. But 2-story house. We ended up building a lower back deck and then an upper back deck, which had a hot tub up here, and I think eventually, no, we never got a hot tub on the bottom, did we? I don't know. Anyways, my dad would have parties sometimes, Halloween parties. That's another fun story. But Bloody Mary, this particular bathroom had a toilet, a sink, then you have the bathtub, and over the bathtub was like not just the regular ceiling, but a ceiling that would come hang down. I don't play Minecraft, is it Cam? Cam. I don't play Minecraft, but my kids love it. But it had this lower ceiling where we'd put the plants, and there were spider plants and other things. Did you? Fluck Chicken said they had a confrontation with Bloody Mary. Well, this was freaky. So you see the plants hanging down, and it's a white wall behind you, and we're all standing in front of the in front of the mirror, all in a group, and Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And all of a sudden, there's this woman in the background, and her makeup's all jacked up. She's very pale. Her hair looks I want to say unshaven, uncombed or unbrushed. And she's just standing there, and the plant is now looking like a giant, like, claw trying to get us. So we're all, like, trying to get out of the bathroom, and there's probably, like, 5 or 6 of us in there, and we're trying frantically to get out of the bathtub or the bathroom, and we can't. Finally do, and we never did that again. And then, let's see. Okay, so at that same house, it was Halloween. I think I went as, this particular year, I went as the boss. I wanted to be the boss. So I was the boss this year. My sister was a punk rocker. I think not Aaron, but John, my little brother, was the guitar player for the boss. But yeah, we all went out like 80s style, did trick-or-treating and such. My dad, of course, is either working at the Fayetteville Open Channel or he is bouncing at Lily's. It used to be called Lily's Bar and Grill. Oh my God. I just realized my youngest daughter is named not after that bar, but my great-grandma, but same name. Pretty interesting. So there was this certain thing, today they have 3 a.m. challenges or, Bloody Mary challenges or whatever else. And so we're all on the front porch. We're looking out, and of course there's houses on the other side, and there's big old trees, and we're all standing out on the porch. All the lights in our house are off, and we start playing this song. I cannot remember what song it is, but it was really creepy. Kind of reminded me of Thriller, but I don't think it was. It was something else. And he's like, if you play the song, and then you look out into the trees and stuff, you'll see shadow people. And I shit you not, I saw at least 2 shadow people within all the trees that were there. And the more that I looked, the more I saw. So could be messing with my mind. Could have been paranormal. Could have been whatever this challenge is. I'm not sure. But I saw shadow people in the trees. Carry on from that. Okay, so shortly after my mom died, my dad, he tried really hard to raise me and my little brother. And he couldn't do it, He had drank before pretty heavily, but after mom died, he really hit it heavy. He also started doing coke, started dating a prostitute, which he almost married. Luckily that didn't work out, but sent us, okay, so we moved from Arkansas to Miami, Florida. Holy shnikes. Okay, so many different experiences there. I remember the America's Most Wanted guy, his son going missing. And I remember roller skating by myself in the middle of nowhere in Miami, which to me is the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know where the hell I am, kinda, but not quite sure at this moment. Looking over my shoulder and thinking, somebody's gonna come kidnap me. I'm so lucky that never happened. I even tried to get across the Bay Bridge, and that didn't go very well. Somebody picked me up and took me back home. And then my dad, of course, beat my ass later. But Miami was so crazy. So many crazy experiences there. Nothing really paranormal. I think it was just too hectic for anything really paranormal to happen. Went back to my grandparents' house. My dad sent us out there for vacation to visit them, and then never sent for us again. So we ended up going to school out there and growing up on the farm that my mom was born and raised on. And I loved going to visit my grandma's house in the past because we'd go there for Christmas and Thanksgiving. When my mom went on vacation out here to Colorado, she went to Denver for some sort of, well, at the point, I think she worked at Baldwin Piano. And she had some sort of conference out here in Denver, Colorado. Her and my dad went and saw Mount Evans. Her last name was Evans. So she wanted to go there. Oh my God. They came down this way. Holy shnikes. Freaking Vern, dude. Okay, so I gotta refix this, but let me text him really quick and tell him I'm on the air, dude. Why the hell are you trying to call me right now? Okay, so they went to Mount Evans, came down here. They actually drove through Pagosa Springs because there's pictures of my mother in the mirror doing her makeup in her chonies, and I recognized this hotel, and my dad on the back said hotel in Pagosa, blah blah blah. I actually stayed there for one night, and I was like, oh my God, this is the hotel my mom stayed in. Anywho's, they go down to Mesa Verde. Mesa Verde is where she really knew it was on, right, Dennis, on the air right now. Jeez, holy cannoli, like, what is up with people? You're going to call me during my radio show. But yeah, they went to Mesa Verde. There's a lot of cute pictures of my mom there in Mesa Verde, which is right outside of Cortez, Colorado, which I grew up and graduated there and went back, not really wanting to, but my dad was there, so I went back due to that. Went to Mesa Verde. She went down in one of these little kiva holes and came back up. My dad said she came back up and she looked white as a sheet. And, you know, my mom's pretty white, but he's like, what's wrong? What's going on? And she said, I went down there and there was 3 medicine men doing some sort of ritual. And right as soon as I came down the ladder and turned around, they were all like just glaring at me. And then they said something. I don't understand what they said, but it really freaked her out. She knew something was bad wrong. And Dad said after that point, on their vacation, my mom was white knuckle driving, and she kept repeating the same thing that she did the day she got in her car accident. Don't let them get me. Don't let them get me. Let me get to this next point. Blah blah blah. Or I think she eventually like pulled over, let my dad drive. She ended up writing my grandpa a letter, telling him how and when she was going to die. She's very serious. She needs help planning her funeral. And she sent it to him. We were at our grandparents' at this point because my mom and dad had gone to Colorado. And they're the only ones that would watch us because we were quite the handful. Pretty free-spirited. Good evening, TessaTNT. And yeah, so once my mom got home, I was so excited. My mom was home. She actually asked me what I wanted her to bring me from Colorado, and I told her I wanted a rainbow. And so she sent me a rainbow postcard, which I still have today. I do hoard pictures and different stuff like that, but pictures are so important to me. So she sent me a rainbow from Colorado. That was cool. But yeah, her and my grandpa got into it once she got home because my grandpa's like, this is BS. You shouldn't be talking like this. This is really serious stuff. And she's like, Dad, I know, I understand. And finally he went from being upset to being understanding and actually heard her out and said, okay, I'll help you plan your funeral. So it was exactly how she wanted it to go. Dennis, we disassociated my uncle over that. My mom won't talk to her brother after. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know there didn't seem like there's too many issues besides the slow driving for your trip, Dennis, but I know after that it was hell. But yeah, so my grandpa helped my mom plan her funeral and it went off without a hitch just like she wanted it. But yeah, once I lived at my grandparents' house after my dad sent us back for vacation, I stayed in the very same room that my mom grew up in, and my brother stayed in the room next to me. And it was like our old house, but it seemed a little bigger. So there's 3 rooms, one for the parents, one for the girls, one for the boys. And my grandma had more kids than 5, tell you what. But yeah, stayed in that room. I hated it. Like, sometimes I'd sleep in the living room because I just hated sleeping in there, especially after the experience I had. So I've always had really crazy dreams. One that I've told you guys about before is the repetitive falling from a iron beam that's being held up by a crane that's building a skyscraper. Could be because of the instability in my life at the time, or it could have been due to like a past life memory. Not sure. But I'm staying in my mom's room. I'm such a still sleeper. Like, I might go from one side to the other, but generally I just stay in one spot. And I wake up and my bed is tilting and there's a hole at the end of my bed. And in this hole, I see flames and flames are shooting up. I'm smelling like the smell of burning and brimstone, like the sulfury, yucky smell. And I'm sliding down my bed And the only thing that's keeping me from sliding off my bed is putting my thumbs down at the base of the bed, the footboard, which is actually quite a distance down from the top of the bed. I'm sorry, somebody's messaging me right now. So it's about 6 inches down. I'm putting my thumbs in there and I'm holding on with my front fingers in front of that, trying not to fall in this hole. Luckily, I wake up. I'm at the end of the bed, and I'm thinking, that's crazy. I'm not where I went to sleep. That was a really crazy dream. It was very realistic. What the hell was that all about? So on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, as I'm calming down, I realize that I still smell smoke. So I'm laying there at the end of the bed, trying to be as still as I can and trying to turn my eyes far enough to the door that I can see who's there. So my door, I had a door frame. I didn't have an actual door. I just had these yellow like lace curtains tied off to the side. And I look over, I can see the curtains, and I see this tall male figure. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's Grandpa checking on me or something. So I'm looking, and then all of a sudden this individual raises a cigar to his mouth, which is the cherry flavor I smelled. My grandparents smoked velvet tobacco, and I know the smell. Like, I even have a velvet tin here in my office because it reminds me of my grandpa. I got it from my grandpa's fishing shed because my inheritance was taken from me. I'm taking his velvet tobacco in this cool carved out rock. Wasn't velvet tobacco, smelled like cherry tobacco. This individual raises the cigar to his mouth to take a puff off of it. And the cherry of the cigar lights up his face and his hair and his collar area. And I can see that he's the most handsome person I've ever seen in my life. Like, at this point, my crush is a dead guy, Elvis Presley. And this guy is so handsome, like even more handsome than that guy. Like the most beautiful, gorgeous guy I'd ever seen in my life. And I knew immediately who it was. His hair was slicked back. He had a tuxedo on, a white shirt, bow tie, and even the little, what do they call those? Those things that go around the corset? Not corset. Starts with a B, I think. Anyways, goes around the waist. Immediately knew who it was. And I said inside of my head something my dad had taught me years before due to my reoccurring nightmares. God stands before me, Satan fall behind. Always work for that. It's got to work for this. So I didn't even say it out loud. I said it in my head, and then he was gone. Yeah, like there was just super creepy energy there, Dennis. I'm pretty sure that my grandparents' house was built on some sort of Indian burial ground. My sister told me a story later on of how she was told stories of how my grandpa was a rebel Indian rebel. What do they call it? Indian outlaw. And my granny, my great granny, I believe, shot him in the stomach and took off with the kids in a wagon. And the wagon came to at the place where my grandma built her house, and that's how it was done. But I don't know if that's true. Like, my sister told me this, so I mean, could be true, could be some Yahoo story she came up with. But yeah, beautiful property. Like, my grandma and grandpa had so many acres. Like, we'd help in the farm as far as we'd go out and we'd get all the eggs from the chickens, and we'd help feed them. We'd help call in the milk cow. Her name was Jersey. Perfect for her because she's a Jersey cow. Chickens, you know, they're kind of freaky. Sometimes they peck at you when you're trying to get their eggs, but I loved farm fresh eggs. Best tomatoes I ever had were the tomatoes my granny grew. Best cornbread I ever had was the cornbread my granny made. And my granny was used to having so many kids that when she made lunch or dinner for me and my grandpa and my brother and her, it was like the whole layout that she'd do for all these kids that she used to have. So I ended up putting on a lot of weight when I lived at my granny's house. But yeah, after that experience, seeing the devil, Shortly after that, I think it was a night or two later, and I'm laying in bed, same spot I usually do, in between the two pillows, under the sheet and blanket. That's where I'm safe, just staring at the ceiling, thinking of random things. Probably my dad, probably Elvis Presley, probably, some book I'd read or something earlier, because my granny had a lot of comics to keep us busy and a lot of farm chores for us. But laying there just thinking, and I hear this chanting noise. Man. Yeah, I believe it was after I saw the devil. I think I saw the devil first, then I saw the kobolds. Or I saw the kobolds first, then I saw the devil. But pretty sure I saw him, then the kobolds. So, I don't know. I'm coming off of being sick all week, so I'm trying to retain. I hear this chanting noise coming from the chicken yard, which is about 8 feet from my window. There's this really, open loose fence. It's not like chain link fence. It's just a regular, chicken fence. Not the little octagon sort of shapes, but, the bigger holes or whatnot. They'd stay in that field because it was much funner than the yard. But I saw light coming through my window from the chicken yard, which is insane. There's no light out there. Crawl down my bed towards the window, and I slowly peek out. And I'm trying to see what the hell it is without it seeing me. And I see this big bonfire in the chicken yard. And then I see these the closest thing that I can tell you for you to see it in your head is little gremlin dudes. So they got this slick, scaly skin, no tails, looks like dog legs, but they're on their hind legs. Clawy little hands. Some are holding spears. Some are beating on drums. They have the big, sharp-tipped ears, but they're not quite as big as a gremlin's are. They're a little bit smaller. And they're all dancing around this fire, pounding their weapons, beating their drums, doing this chant, and all of a sudden, all at once, they all stopped and turned really quick to look my direction. And I slumped myself back so fast in my bed, pulled the sheet back up, because the sheet to me was my protection from the rest of the world. And these little things, you could hear them clawing up the side of the house. And my granny I think they got the house that they built out of a JCPenney catalog. I guess you could order houses back then out of the JCPenney catalog. And it had the rough, it's green, but it's like rough outside tiles on it. You could hear them clawing up that and clawing up the window frame. You could see their shadows looking through the window, being reflected off the wall across from the window. And they're chattering back and forth and looking around. They don't see anything. And all of a sudden, they go down and scurry to my brother's room. After that night, I didn't have any more issues. But my brother started running through the house. He'd run out from his bedroom. Okay, so there's the front door, my granny and grandpa's room, the living room, my room and the pantry area, and I call it the baking room because it had all the, pantry area. It had all the baking goods in there around the wood stove, probably so it wouldn't get humid or rot out or whatnot. Yeah, Dennis, I swear to God. Tessa, Sears catalog houses. I think my grandma was born in 1912 and my grandpa born in 1910. But yeah, they got their house out of a Sears catalog. That was actually a thing back in the day. Really freaking weird, but that's where they got it. Okay, so my brother's room is in the back, up against the kitchen. So kitchen, my brother's room, pantry room, my room, living room, grandma's room, and grandpa's room. He'd run out of his room, past my room, into the living room, just screaming his head off, they're after me, they're gonna get me. Wakes everybody in the house up as he's running back past my room, I'm getting out of bed and I'm running out to see if he's okay. At the very back of the house was I want to say an entryway. It's where you'd come in from the fields, whether you're farming or feeding the cattle or the donkey or chickens or whatever else. That's where you take off your muddy stuff and then you go into the kitchen, which was about 2 feet up. Way from that, off the back porch, the bathroom was outside too. But anyways, he'd hit that back door that hit the back door entryway, come back. There's a little inch tall step that goes between the kitchen to the pantry room that had the wood stove and stuff in it. Every freaking time he would trip on that. And as he'd trip, he would fall and scramble and get away and continue to run until my grandparents caught him and said, okay, it's okay, there's nothing there. Go back to bed. Nothing's wrong. Which they always said that. And I don't know, I personally feel, so that's why I say I know, that they knew there was stuff out there, but a lot of people back then, if you deny it, you don't give it any attention, it'll go away. I don't think that's true. I think it just comes for the younger generation, but his nightmares didn't stop till one night, and like I said, all of us out of bed, same time, trying to catch my brother, trying to help my brother, trying to see what the hell is he running from. Every night, same dream for, it seemed like forever, like none of us were getting any sleep. This last time, as he was running out of the kitchen, tripped on the very same step he did every night. And this time, my grandpa was kneeled down on one side. My grandma was kneeled down on another. They caught him. They kind of looped their arm through his arm, or like were holding him in place. And he's still kicking his feet, and he's trying to get away, and he's screaming, they're going to get me, they're going to get me. And then all of a sudden, he just like out like a light. Like he was knocked out. After that, never ran and screamed every night. Still today, will not talk to me about this experience, even though I've told him about mine and about seeing them. I didn't have to encounter them firsthand. I saw them from a distance. I saw their shadows scurrying up my window and trying to see me, and never saw them again. I've heard of them from other people, which this one lady told me they were kobolds. And then I looked online at what a kobold is, and to me, not the same thing. Like a kobold to me reminds me of a gnome. So no, that's not it. Like closest thing that it resembles is gremlins, or if you look into the paranormal world, Kentucky goblins, except for their eyes don't glow. I guess like if they caught a certain light, they might glow in a way, but they don't just like naturally glow like I've seen the pictures. So that's the closest thing I can refer it to. But that was my craziest early experiences. Like I said, after that, my aunt and uncle came and got us. I still had sleep issues, even though nothing happened after I got baptized until I was 13. Once I was 13, I had shadow people following me. I'd go for runs at night or in the evenings, and I would see shadows darting into bushes. I'd hear my name being called. Different weird stuff like that. A guy used to stand outside the door. So I lived upstairs. Everybody else lived downstairs, and my room was attached to this very massive attic and this cool little kitchenette on the side, and had my own bathroom. I even had my own staircase outside up to my room. But that's where this guy would just stand there, permanently fixed, looking through my back door. He never did anything. He just stood there. And even at times that I couldn't see him, I could still feel him. So that was really creepy. And then after that, I had adult experience. But before we go there, we're going to go to our first musical break. Let me see what we got ya. So we have Miss Tamara Bubble with Cute Panties. We have Nostra... I don't want to say that. Not Hosny Bronx. Mr. Brick Casey with Mr. Cell Phone Man. Tamara Bubble with Out the Mud. And then we have Mr. Roy Washington, who is our musical host. You can also find him on Quest Nation. He's also a member of Prime Example, but he is now recently doing his own music, and this song is called Subliminal. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this musical break.
Hello? I'm trying to call my baby, but it's poor reception, cause she ain't picking up. Hello? Hello? Listen, Mr. Operator, I've been up all day and I'm trying to dial my baby's number. See, it only rings straight to the machine. 617 ring twice. How you doing, boo? Cool, how's your date? Nice. Now she ain't picking up, plus a text her. Put it to your plane, she's the one to get next to. It's not just the way, it's all day with affection. I'm hoping this detection is poor reception. Straight to the machine, mean it's like clicking my car, get connected quick. I'm saying,
hey, Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time.
Why she ain't picking up, yo? I see the phone rings quite a few times before any answer. And I know she's home, well at least till 3. And I know she's home. Now I don't mean to be any bother operator, but could you just check and connect this call for me? Cause I know she's home. Now see, the first time I call, I'm like, maybe she working. And the second time I call, I'm like, little bit hurting. But the third time I call, I'm like, going berserk. And now half a day gone, can't get her on the horn. Usually in the morning, maybe it's something wrong. I mean, she wouldn't take this long to call back. See, we tight like that, she's supposed to be mine. So could you please try it one more time?
Hey, Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time.
Why she ain't picking up, yo? For some reason, it's like she ain't home. Just wanna get my baby on the phone. Now I know that she's there all alone. So can you please hook up my cellular phone?
Hey, Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man, I see something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time.
Why she ain't picking up, yo? Why she ain't picking up, yo? It's the gost, the gost, the gost, the gost.
Hey, get up on that washer, hit the spin cycle till I come home. Don't worry where I'm at, I'm out here breadwinning, so don't hit my phone. Shoulda never gave you treats like that, you got a sweet tooth and won't leave me alone. And every time I try to get some sleep, I wake up cause you doing me wrong. Sneaking up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Ain't playing, think I'm playing. I'ma have you doing them dishes too. Better lick them plates clean, be grateful for this delicious food. Why you want no fours? What you scrubbing floors cause you want some more? But you like it dirty, you is so dirty, you like it dirty. Sneaking up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Sneaking up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? First of all, I was sleeping, and second of all, why you creeping? Third of all up on me, rubbing like conditioner that you be trying to leave in. Relax, love, keep breathing, and I would say keep cleaning, but you like it dirty, you is so dirty, you like it dirty. Yeah. Sneaking up under covers, up, wake up, cause you doing me wrong. Sneaking up under covers. It's a body, love it, hate it, that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Sneaking up under covers. It's a body, love it, hate it, that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Get up under covers. Yeah, you like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty, yeah? Under covers. Yeah, you like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty, yeah?
See you, Roy Washington, man. What's happening, man?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. They never say it in words, but in deeds wars declared. Justice is gone and the sight's none to spare. Especially the kingdom encased in melanin. But these suckers are weak, kings and queens will ride again. Come on. Slackers with badges, the white sheets and the maggots. Watch them fall as I tag them because I'm better than average. A sharpshooter with words with my eye to the scope. Can they escape when I've donned the black cape? Is hell no. I'm a ninja for right, who can vanish from sight. Pick you off in the night, but still the Lord is my light. Perceiving all you see, the truth behind the scenes. Instead of jumping bandwagons, the light says believe in me. Cause you're a puppet, no doubt. 45th turned you out. Though I saw you live
lips moving, no sound came out. So I was sent from the heavenlies, born so you could find me. Swam the seeming stream, took flight during the 90s. Landed in Grace, wrote a verse of hip-hop, got with Jay and found the taste was smooth as butterscotch. We had hood love and money problems, they be on me, but we stayed in the flow. It had juice like Manolo.
They can try to oppress, you can try to impress. I'm just after success, none less. You can look in my eyes, you can feel in my vibes. Came down inside and it's so man, no. I got God on my side, I ain't worried about none. If it ain't about money, then it ain't about none. Laughing at my enemies, I know they see me coming. If it ain't subliminal, they can't even see me. Politics and violent shit, I'm here to raise the consciousness. For every face and race up in this nation trapped in poverty. Diamond in the rough, need to cut, shape it and polish it. Bad thoughts cripple life, we can be an optimist. We can be an optimist, reconstruct apocalypse. Broke people always hating, mix me with that gossiping. Rose up in the concrete, rain and sun, I'm blossoming. My people need to be like kind of Velcro, then we conquer it. They can try to oppress, you can try to impress. I'm just after success, none less. You can look in my eyes, you can feel in my vibes. Came down inside and it's so man, no. I got God on my side, I ain't worried about none. If it ain't about money, then it ain't about none. Laughing at my enemies, I know they see me coming. If it ain't subliminal, they can't even see me coming.
The 45th is a joke, and he's weak in disgust. He plans to divide, but there's no stopping us. If we have to fight, go toe to toe for our lives, we prevail and got sight, cause only light I recite. I blow my lyrics like a shotgun, camouflage inside the tracks, now watch the suckers run. I'm moving fast enough, heads up, now here I come. I designed 50 ways to make this murder fun. I spit the lyrical rain that coat the concrete, that give life and take form. Arise and walk the street. Am I the greatest to spit? Feel the spray and we'll see. Let it dry, all the lies and the truth will point to me. Even when surrounded by a million MCs, I'm the one under the sun who's the greatest of these. I got the Holy Ghost juking and tapping while I'm rapping. Sticking and moving like Roy Jones, I'll make it happen. Even animals move when the novelist is rocking. My doggy started barking, his ears just a flopping. Subliminally, I penetrate camps like an enemy. Flicking the lights, cancel sight, cause you're not seeing me.
They can try to oppress, you can try to impress. I'm just after success, none less. You can look in my eyes, you can feel in my vibes. Live a king down inside and it's so man, no. I got God on my side, I ain't worried about none. If it ain't about money, then it ain't about none. Laughing at my enemies, I know they see me coming. If it ain't subliminal, they can't even see me coming.
Yeah, boy. That was Roy Washington of Quest Nation. He is also a part of the band Prime Example, which we'll be hearing from this next musical break. But yeah, he's awesome. I'm so grateful for him because he has given me basically all the music I have except for King Cinnamon, and I know how much you guys love that guy. But yeah, he's given me all the music that I use on my music breaks because I'd rather have music going on than commercials, because unless they're good ones, they can be really irritating, and even if they are good ones, they get irritating after a while. But yes, thank you so much, Roy Washington, for giving us these wonderful tunes to boogie to. Alright, so left off in my younger years, nothing really happened till I was 13. Shadow people, damn guy standing in my doorway outside my back door. And then it was just like times things didn't happen, and then later on things got active again. I think especially after my little Kinzer was born. She was born in 99. She's now 21 years old. I can't believe it's still like, I don't know. They'll always be your baby, no matter how old they get. But, yeah. Okay, so first major paranormal experience I had after she was born was the first time I experienced a ghost animal, and that's when I lived in, they call it a matchstick house, which was 3 cabins that were brought from all places. Mesa Verde. They sold all their old cabins and then built new housing for the people that worked up there. And so my landlord, who lived right next door, had put 3 of these Mesa Verde cabins together to make one house. And I really loved it there. But okay, so almost stepped on this poor black cat as it was standing next to me by the little furnace there in the living room. Stepped to the left, almost stepped on it. Looked all over the house, couldn't find it anywhere. Then again, I was in the kitchen doing dishes and cleaning up and turned around. This cat runs through the kitchen. I think I might have been vacuuming at the time, but ran through the kitchen into the living room, over the back of the couch that Kinsey was sitting on, and again, looked for it everywhere and never found it. So that was my first spirit animal. We lived right across the street from this little old creepy, oh my gosh, usually churches aren't creepy to me, but it was a really old creepy Catholic church over there. And I was like, I don't know. I just felt like a lot of negative energy and a bunch of babies. I don't want to think about it. It was terrible. Oh, the A-frame. Okay, so after that, Kinsey and I moved from this place to, oh man, we actually lived out by Sleeping Ute Mountain in Cortez, which is right by the reservation. Let me take a drink really quick. I'm parched. I need some Monster. So I believe it was County Road, I want to say G, but the way I'd explain for people to get out there, go past the Eagle Claw, take the next county road, go all the way out, take a left, take another left, you'll see this big old place on the side. So out there I didn't really have like any haunting sort of things going on, but that was the first time that I had witnessed skinwalkers, but they were actually in animal form, and they came as a pack. They were just like really intelligent and creepy, and it was weird how they stayed outside of the line of the light, and I don't know if, prior to moving in there, if this particular light was blessed or what, because light generally doesn't bother them, but I could see all of their eyes glowing. First started off as one pair, then two, then three, then on and on and on as they circled and round this light. When I'm sitting on my back porch smoking a cigarette, I'm like, F this. Like, I actually quit for a while. Then we moved to Durango in Tween Lakes to this A-frame. And it was a really cute, quaint little place. And it had 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a little tiny bathroom. And my daughter stayed in one room. And of course, me and my husband stayed in the other. And she would talk about Baby E and Mommy E. And so finally, she told us that Baby E died, so Mommy E died to be with Baby E. Baby E fell out of the tree, and Mommy E took a long bath so she could be with Baby E. And Mommy E looks all wrinkly skinned, and she has blonde hair, and she's got like a dingy white sort of like nightgown going on. She would want the room to be dark. She would want it to be quiet, and she would want the door closed. And she's only 2 years old at this time. And we're like, what kind of kid wants all the lights out, quiet, and the door closed? She would come in and tell us to be quiet because we're making Mommy E mad, because we're being too loud. She would scream, and we'd come in, and she said Mommy E was reaching over the bed and gonna grab her. She saw the sharp hand, sharp claws, etc. Our personal experience with these individuals. So I'm laying in bed, me and my husband. We hear the doorknob turning, like a little kid's turning the doorknob, about to open it, and then it turns one last time, releases, and then the door slowly is starting to come open. And I'm like, Kinsey, go back to bed. You're supposed to be in bed right now. And nothing. So I get up and I run to the door and I open it, and she's not there. At this point, we had moved her from her room to downstairs in the living room because Baby E and Mommy E were getting to be too much. She wasn't there. She was downstairs on the couch. I almost said the swing because it was actually a front swing porch with these really cool cushions on it, and she'd sleep on that. she was asleep. That was not her. I actually almost jumped out a window one night. I guess I jumped up and said no repeatedly and tried to jump out the window, which was the second floor, but there was also an embankment right outside of the house there that went down another 8 feet, so I probably would have biffed it and not made it out very well. But yeah, so the very last straw for us was when Kinsey was going up to her room to grab some toys that she had left up there or something, and all of a sudden my husband and I are sitting on the swinging couch and we're watching a movie. The staircase comes down. You can see the TV underneath the staircase and then the staircase coming down. And nothing, like no walls, no railing, nothing at certain points from the top to bottom. She's cartwheeling through the air down the stairs and hits the bottom of the stairs. And immediately I go over there and pick her up. Are you okay? And she said, Mommy, why'd you kick me? Mommy, why'd you kick me? And I was like, I didn't. I was downstairs and watching a movie with your dad. And I think maybe she was talking to the other mommy, like Mommy E. But it made me feel really bad because it wasn't me. But yeah, we took her in, got her checked out. Everything was okay. Ended up moving out shortly after that. And when we moved here, it was pretty quiet. We only had one ghost. We picked up on without any tools or anything. We just, I don't know. I started calling him John because I felt like that's what his name was. Turns out his name is John. And he's pretty quiet, cool, laid-back old guy. First time I experienced him, I was getting ready to go to work, bartending at the casino, and had gotten all my makeup done, left the house, had all my shit in tow, going out the front gate, which is right next to my bedroom window, and I hear a man coughing in my room. And I'd never moved quicker out that gate than I did at that point. I was like, holy shit, I'm glad I'm going to work right now because I'm the only one at home. But that's the first time I knew he was there. I ever heard, or I didn't see him at that point, but I heard him at that point. But like I said, he's cool to the kids, pretty laid back. He did play a prank one time where he went under a sheet, which did not exist here. We didn't have any white sheets. And hid under a sheet and scared the shit out of my kids. And, innocent stuff like that. But since then, we've had different things come in, not only due to, I think, me being gifted, living next to a church, my kids being gifted, my husband is somewhat gifted, so it could be just a range of all those different things. Saw a deer ghost running from my vehicle. First part of the deer looked whole. Second part looked like a paintbrush streak of fawn-colored light going across the road. Both I and my husband saw that. Oh, God. A jackal dog thing. I actually saw Dylan Redwine, and this thing followed me from his house, which I don't know what kind of stuff his dad was into, but that thing was in his house. Not only I saw it through the window, but Sadie saw it. We went up to do some investigating, so I'm telling on ourselves right now, which I know I have before, but so we're going up to paranormal investigate. Where's Dylan? What happened to Dylan? Is what happened to him, what we think happened to him, really what happened to him? And so we go up. I believe we went up Middle Mountain first, which I was married on this mountain. This poor kid, his body was put up on this mountain. And I had actually used dowsing rods in the past to ping on points, but we stopped at one certain point, which was a big one. And went in there with a ghost box. We're communicating with him, talking to him, and we actually heard him come through, not just once, but 3 times saying hello. And I don't know. So many different random things came in up there, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so you really don't get any radio waves. But we went back down past the house and parked and did some radio work there and just listened to the outside, there was something big out in the woods crashing around. We ended up walking down the way. It was myself, Kat, which was the co-founder of this group, who has since passed away from cancer. We had Glow, and we had Sadie. And so we walk down, and there's a little cattle guard between the little tiny road and this property, and there's a mailbox, and there was this is pretty disturbing, a statue of a little boy with his arm missing, kind of like running with these coveralls on that he had right by the road. It was really creepy. Somebody ended up taking that later on and replacing it with a gargoyle. But anywho, so we're standing here at this point at the cattle guard. Cat and Glow go across the cattle guard towards the house, and they're like, come on, you guys, come on. Like, we only have so much time. We got to go check out the surrounding area, see if we pick up on anything. We weren't going to break in or anything, but we were going to creep around and see what we could find, and do some sort of ghost box there and see if we picked up something more. And Sadie and I could not go past the cattle guard. Cat and Glow were over there like, come on, like, what are you doing? Looking at the house, it looked like as if all the lights were off, but the TV perhaps was on. You know how you get that greenish blue color going on through the window when somebody is up late at night and they're watching TV. Not only that, there's an enormous sized black dog on his back 2 feet running at a very quick rate of speed, right to left, right to left, right to left, in front of these windows in front of the house. I believe it was that very same night I drove home. I did not at the time know until later. My roommate Brian, Mr. Zahn, told me like 2 months later, hey, you know that one night you guys went up to Vallecito and you were doing that investigation and stuff? There was this really big black dog that was chasing behind your truck. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that till now? Because something else happened in between the time that I came home from that investigation and he had seen this black dog chasing my truck and told me about it. Oh my goodness. In between the time that he told me that he had seen this and the night of the investigation and this dog chasing me, I went inside, I was reading through my emails, and all of a sudden I felt this burning on the right side of my, I want to say like thigh, not thigh, but hip area, right above my hip. A burning feeling. And I thought, well, I had just gone outside, smoked a cigarette, came back inside, 2 emails in, feel this burning, maybe a spider from the porch or something got under my shirt and bit me. And I looked and there was 2 long scratch marks above my pant line. I have to rewind a second because when I was outside smoking, Lily came out and was hugging my legs and stuff, and all of a sudden we heard a growl from the driveway, and I looked down. Lily's looking the same direction I'm looking as I see this or hear this sound, and I said, well, did you hear that too? And she's like, yeah, I think it's just Hercules. And I said, no, it's not Hercules, because Hercules is in the backyard. That was something else. How about we go inside? Go inside, 2 emails in, get the scratch on the side. I had some holy water in a spray bottle, and so I sprayed it on there, and I swear, like less than 5 minutes, those 2 scratch marks were gone. And then 2 days later, I got the complete set. So a complete set of 3 scratch marks 2 days later from whatever this thing was. Hey, Andy, mate. And after that was the first time I had a walk-in, not related. I think I was just more open to it after that. I don't know what the hell it was. I think it was trying to scare us away from going back up and investigating. And like I said, I don't know. I know a lot of what his dad is into, and I'm only going to say this because we're not on terrestrial radio. If we were on terrestrial radio, I would not say this because I'd probably get some really big, nasty, hefty fine, but this guy, his kids found on his computer pictures of him wearing girls' panties, wearing makeup, at one point, he's wearing like a bonnet, like a little baby bonnet thing on his head with a binky. And then later on is seen eating feces out of the crotch of these panties that he was wearing. And so this was on a visit after after Mark Redwine and his wife got divorced. The kids were having to go back and forth for visits, and he found this, took pictures of it. His brother saw it too. They never wanted to go back, but he was forced, court ordered, for the date that he died, which was November 19th. It was for Thanksgiving break, 2012. But I feel so bad about that whole situation. Anyways, so that was all connected with that. That's how Four Corners Paranormal Investigation started. And then I found SOR on the radio when I was sharing Four Corners. That's how I got into radio. And yeah, we still have hauntings here. My animals have been attacked. Things have gone flying across the room. Things go missing. Shadow people are seen. Little goblin things have been seen by my kids. Oh, my kids were almost abducted. Perhaps even abducted, but they remember the part that they got away. We've seen alien orbs outside. One was way high up, just up the road, and then right outside, about 20 feet from the back door, we see a large-sized orb. And that was the same time Dylan went missing. So I couldn't go do a lot of things that I wanted to do as far as this investigation, because a lot of it I was pregnant with Floyd, and then I had him, and he was born in September. I think he was about 2 months old, and we have, at this point, the TV moved into this room, the bed moved into this room. The house gets so cold in the winter, we all ended up moving into one basic area and shutting off all the bedrooms for the winter. But I'm sitting there and I'm breastfeeding Floyd, and I'm looking out across the horse field because it's snow coated and it's a full moon, and you know how the snow gets like that blue glimmering, like glittery look. And yeah, it's really freaking cold outside, and I'm thinking about Dylan, and I'm hoping he's hid away. I'm hoping wherever he's at, he's warm and he's not hungry and he's taken care of. And all of a sudden I see this light coming down the back fence, and at first I think it could be like a flashlight or some sort of lantern or something, and I decide to put Floyd down, walk to the door, and I'm looking, and there's this large orb full of, at first it looked like an orangish reddish color, and as it got closer, it looked basically to me like liquid fire flowing through this orb. And it was at a slow walking pace, about 3 or so feet in circumference or diameter, or I don't know what the term for it is, and about 3 or 4 feet off the ground. When I saw it, put Floyd down, like I opened the door, stepped 1 foot out into the snow, and then realized, I don't know what this thing's intention is. I don't know what it wants. I'm going to go back inside, close the door, try to get a picture. I could not get my phone to work. I'm so freaked out and fidgety. So I call over the family. I'm like, you guys come, look at this. And Nova and Kinsey saw the orb as I did, but then Vern saw a bat flapping its wings at a very slow rate of speed, glowing. A very large bat inside a clear orb. What kind of cloaking device is that? I don't know. Me and my 2 kids saw the same thing, but he saw something different. I don't know. Sounds kind of wonky. But yeah, we've had animal attacks. We come to find out this property that we live on, our neighbors, we get so many different neighbors right next door. And the new neighbors recently moved out. The neighbors before that were telling us, bitter than cake. I don't know. We're telling us that the land that we're living on right now was a very massive battleground between the Spanish and the Indians, and at one point the French and the Indians. You guys are distracting me with your cakearoos and such. Crock cake. Oh, happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? But the freakiest thing to me, besides the really freakishly tall shadow person and the guy that hangs out under the sheet, and we had a guy in the hallway even that was punching the hallway. This place has been the most haunted place that I've ever lived in, and to me, like, the experiences don't seem as traumatic because I'm not too young. Is it Andy's birthday? Happy birthday, Andy, mate. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Andy, mate. Happy birthday to you. All right, so who's going to give him his first spankings? We got to spank him, and then we got to put him back from where he came from, which that means you got to roll him under his mama's bed. That is so awesome. Hey, Mr. Morris. So yeah, like, I can continue on with my other experiences, but I'm just like, ugh. I always feel like I'm boring people, probably because I've told the story so many times, and I know you guys have heard them. But yeah, for me, like, the freakiest... I wish I had a shot too, I do win. The freakiest experience for me is when my daughter got pushed down the stairs. Or when my dog got shoved into a shelf, which she could not, how arthritic she is, she could not have wedged herself in there. But something pushed her in there. Something lifted my animals, Hercules to be exact, up to the ceiling and dropped them. Like, when things start attacking people and things, that to me is when it gets really scary, because they're not supposed to be able to do that. So I don't freaking know. Okay, so Andy said open. Okay, open the doors. Okay, you guys know when I start a call, it never works. It's like, your group is too big, you psycho host beast. Like, why are you inviting everyone? Like, anybody wants to come hang out. Like, get over it. Forget about it. Well, we could try it virtually, Lynn Dorman, but I don't think I'd have much luck spanking Andy Mate all the way in Australia from Southwest Colorado. Open the doors. You guys open Skype. Open the call, and I'll join the call, and then we'll all be in one happy petri dish. That reminds me. Okay, so Lily asking all sorts of different general questions at any point in time. You're like, where the hell do you come up with this today? So, Mom, like, where do you think the Ouija board came from? Like, why did they originally make it? Was it just for kids, or was it something else? And I'm like, no, actually, it started in a time when there was this flu going on, some sort of thing where they're saying, you can't be touching and doing this because you might get the Spanish flu. That's what I think it was, Spanish influenza. I'm still looking. You guys haven't started the call yet. But let's see. So supposedly it was due to that, trying to get people together during this time when this thing was going on, and oh God, the hounds of hell are out. Hey! But you're supposed to have a certain distance, and I'm thinking, okay, now they're saying 6 feet. Maybe back in the day they thought 2 feet was okay because, you know, they didn't know everything they know now. So perhaps 2 feet was the quota instead of 6. So everybody could get together 2 feet or more apart and use the Ouija board. So it was a game for dates and parties and whatever when people were socially distanced where they can come together. You're still touching the same thing, like, I don't know. Don't try to rationalize it. Just smile and wave. But they do, you know, send it out basically to kids. You can even get it in pink. Can you believe that shenanigans? I can get my Ouija board in pink. I think the coolest one I've seen so far online, not that I'm looking for Ouija boards, but I watch a lot of YouTube due to my tinnitus, or as my hearing specialist said, tinnitus. Yes, you have tinnitus. Your hearing is really good, but otherwise, like, you just have tinnitus. I don't know why, but your ears ring, even though your hearing's perfect. I really don't get it. Maybe I'm not meant to. Watching the YouTube. Oh my gourd, I would totally eat an 18-pound pizza right now. If you guys aren't in the chat, you can go to Spreaker.com. It's really easy to start an account and hop into the chat room. Just look for We Are Paradox Media. The picture was a black and white picture of the Earth with an old Tesla antenna on top of it. But I think it's got some like neon colors on it now. So just look for that old black and white Earth with a crazy colored, technicolored radio wave thingamajigger on it. And come into chat. It's really cool. You can leave your questions, comments, so on and so forth. I think during... Man, did anybody start that call yet? I was going to say, if it doesn't start soon, we'll just do the call in the third hour. And D-Mate's still trucking. Our trucker gnome and his mother trucking gnomes. Yes. Well, I had an experience when I was in the military with a Ouija board. And it's funny, like, I'll sit here and tell stories and then I'll be thinking about it. And I'm like, holy shit, how did I forget this story? But the very first time, and last time, basically, all in one night. I did it twice. First time didn't work, so I was like, F you, I'm going to go take a shower. All I wanted to do was talk to my mom, right? And it said no. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go take a shower. You girls have fun with this bullshit. Because if my mom was out there, she would have come through on this. So I go and I go take a shower. Came back all purty smelling. All the girls are gone. And at this point, we are locked down for Hurricane Bonnie in, I believe it was North Carolina. Camp Geiger, Camp Lejeune. Oh, PayPal. PayPal just sent me a really nice message. Thank you, 33, whoever that was. But yeah, so we're using this Ouija board that we got from the Mel Broken Platoon. It's called MRP, Marine Rehabilitation Platoon. And so there's a guys and a girls. We're separated by quite a ways because, you know, teenagers and young adults get kind of horny and shit happens. So we have this board from Lieutenant Black, who this poor guy was doing training maneuvers as like combat training. That's where we were. And but he was in the field, so he was learning to do like prone positions, so on and so forth, near a tank in certain places. And this poor guy ended up getting his ass ran over. Like, he didn't live through it, so we started passing the Ouija board back and forth. And yeah, it was just insane. Could you imagine what portals we opened or whatnot? What shenanigans we started? So first time I tried it, didn't work. Came back out, all the girls were gone. I think they were watching Titanic again. Like, I don't know how many times they played that movie. My sister is so obsessed with it too. It's hard to watch it. So I go out, it's on my rack, nobody's there, and I'm like, well, I'm going to try this again. Let's stop there. You're not supposed to use a Ouija board by yourself. You're supposed to have somebody there to help you out. Keep an eye on you. Make sure everything's going okay. And it doesn't always work out that way, but... So the experience I have, I'm not going to say was negative because I was super excited about it. So I get on there and I'm by myself, and of course you got to do 3 circles and then put out your intention, like who you want to talk to, what you want to do, so on and so forth. So like, please, can I please just talk to my mom? And of course it goes yes, and then faster and faster and faster and faster. Like, this thing was moving so fast. I swear to God, I was not doing it. Like, that's like me sitting there, like, lying to myself intentionally. Like, this thing was moving. Tell your brother, Gary, Greg, John, sister, Kathy, tell your dad, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Everything's going to be okay. And after that, I was like, oh, like, I started crying, of course, because I missed my mom. Like, she died when I was 5, almost 6, and I only at that point had 2 dreams of her that whole time. People think if you put that intention out there, you can dream about anybody you want, anytime you want, but I'm here to tell you, motherfuckers, it doesn't work that way. Like, you can't just do that. You can't just trick yourself into seeing somebody that you miss so much. If so, I would have seen my mom every night, you know, that'd be my time with my mom, but no, that's not how it works. So yeah, I saw her once right after she died, where she told me the same thing. I'm okay, everything's gonna be okay, and then she had to go back to where she came from. I should have told that story earlier. Anywho's, it always comes back. But yeah, she said, when I asked her, are you there for me? Are you always here with me? And she says, yes. And I can be anywhere I want, anytime I want. I can fly, all kinds of different stuff she's telling me. But her key thing, and this is generally a key note when it comes to people on the other side trying to get through, I'm okay, everything's okay, I love you, and I miss you, but you'll see each other again. If you play your cards right. Better not fuck around. You better be doing it right, alright? Forget about it. Holy cannoli. These assholes. Swear to God. But it was cool. It's cool to see people on the other side. If you do, don't take it as just like some FloJo thing. Like, write it down if you generally forget things. Something is actually happening. A message is trying to be pervade. When it came to my dad, when he passed away, it was not like my mom. Like, my mom was so spiritually adapted, so spiritually inclined that it was not hard for her. Like, I could feel her there. I could hear her call my name or whisper my name or whatnot, but it wasn't the same as with my dad or with her in dreams where she's coherently telling me everything I need to know. My dad would just stand there with that, look on his face that he always had where he's like, yeah, this is cool, whatever. He didn't say anything. And he just had that look on his face. I think he's still learning. And I do think on the other side that there is a school where you can learn. Some people get lost in their intention, whether it's revenge or other stuff like that before they get to school. But you better make sure you go. And I don't know if that means living another life. Is that school? Or is there an actual school in heaven? I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And I would bring you guys in, but I think I'm going to wait for the 3rd hour, the 12th hour. We're going to go in early after party. No, Herr Andrew. What? But it's amazing. Okay, so Kat. I was telling you about Kat earlier, and this is where the amazing comes from. Like, she is the most amazing. Like, right now, my heart is like the Grinch. Like, it grew 3 sizes larger. Thinking about her coming through the day she died, my daughters and I were there. Kinsey luckily decided not to stay, which it wasn't really bad traumatic thing, but for little, not little, but younger individuals, more so, like, I've always been there for death. Like, I think I'm supposed to be, because I've been there for so many. That's the only thing that makes sense. I think I'm supposed to be here for this. But yeah, Kinsey decided to go home as it was looking bleak. Nova, I was like, Nova, you want to go with Kinsey? Because I don't want her to walk alone. I don't care how small your town is. There's a pervert out there somewhere. Don't let your kids go alone. So I'm like, if you're going to go now, go with Kinsey. If not, you have to stay here with me, and you can stay in here or you can stay in the car. And she's like, I want to stay. It really did mess her up more than she or I thought it would. And, I'm pretty sure she went away when, after Kat died, and we opened the window and did all the things we needed to, and they came in and they pronounced her dead, and then, we cleaned her up, and then we redressed her. She picked this, like, cute little I don't know, kind of off the shoulder white little blouse thing and a little tie front, and then these capri pants with bling blings on the butt. So we dressed her in that. She looks super, super freaking cute for the other side. But when she showed up that night, she had all her hair back to the length that she preferred it. It was nice and, like, not curly, but those beautiful locky waves, shoulder length. And on the right-hand side of her head, it was braided from the front of her forehead back to where the ponytail was. And she had this beautiful smile on her face, which she always had a beautiful smile. But towards the end, she didn't smile a lot. This beautiful smile on her face. Her face had all the beautiful color back in it. She looked so young and vibrant. But the thing that I was like, okay, so why did we... It was so hard to dress her. Like, why did we spend all this time and effort to, it was her wishes. I understand that. If you're going to come back in this amazing, brilliant dress, maybe you need the certain fabrics and bling blings for what your final resting piece that you're going to wear is going to be. But she was wearing this beautiful dress. And she had this aura around her that I can only explain as looking at a Catholic candle, where it has the Mother Teresa or Mary or whoever the heck on it with the, bright, brilliant, kind of like Catholic aura going around it with all the different colors. Hers was like that, and it was kind of outlined in this really brilliant, I want to say white, but it's platinum, and then silver, and then sparkles and such, and then white, and then there was like an aqua blue, and the silver and the white and all that other stuff again, but it was so radiant. And she was just like she never left what she knew, because she already knew already what was there. It was just so beautiful, and the most brilliant, amazing apparition I had ever seen in my life. But for Nova, it freaked her out because she's like, Mom, I didn't see her that one time. I saw her like 2 times before that, because she was sleeping in her room. Then she moved out to the living room. She saw her there again. Then she came and crawled in bed with us, and then she saw her again. And I was asleep when she came in, and I woke up and I sat up immediately, and I still had my eyes closed, and through my eyes I could see the light. And then I opened my eyes and I saw her and how beautiful she was, but I immediately closed my eyes because I knew she wasn't there for me, even though she didn't mind that I was seeing her in all her amazing, brilliant beauty. But she wasn't there for me. She was there for Nova because she was checking on Nova, and she wanted to make sure that she was okay. That's what I know in my heart. She didn't tell me that, but that's what I know. So yeah, it's amazing. If you guys see stuff in your dreams, write it down if you have trouble remembering, or share it with somebody. Have some sort of somebody who remembers it when you're gone. They might retell it. But definitely do a journal. I'm so bad at that. Started off with Dear Diary, and then as I got baptized and such, one of the, not requirements, but it'd be a good idea if you kept a journal for all your offspring. And it's amazing things that are written in there. I've learned so much about my family lineage and heritage and such through journaling that I would have never known. Could you imagine had that not happened? My Uncle Bill was such a journaler, and his journals were actually taken by his evil ex-wife, Brenda. If you want to see Brenda in all her brilliance, you can see her on the Dr. Phil show. My sister, my mom, my brother, and his dog Bonaparte, the king of all boners. Bonaparte. Anyways, they're on the Dr. Phil show. They actually made my mom wear high heels and earrings. She was so pissed off. But don't worry, you guys. It's Andy's birthday. I'm so excited. I wonder if he's talking to us and he's wearing his birthday suit. Andy, what are you wearing? Are you wearing like your cool like weightlifter shirt with the nice snug shorts? You hugging that pole yet? Come on, we gotta get Andy some shots. Birthdays are cool. And some people don't, like our dear friend, what a gentleman, Dennis Dyke, does not celebrate birthdays or doesn't believe in them or something. Yeah, okay, so Mooney said, if you want to make some money for your channel, because, like, we're hanging on by the skin of our teeth, but Mooney said, you need to do a Wapham calendar. Ain't nobody got time for that. That'd be cool. I got a lot of cool old cars I can pose with. No. Yeah. Gnome Drew's birthday isn't till March, but we're talking about Andy Meat. But yeah, I've had all kinds of paranormal experiences. I always wanted to believe in aliens, but I didn't quite believe in them until, guess what? Freaking 2012 again. 2012 was the year. It's so insane. Oy vey. So my dad, the only time he had a paranormal experience was after he got with my mother, and she was so gifted with her spirituality and such. Then he was like, she was spiritually inclined, saw the other side. She'd go out, a Friday night for her. Let's get some beers. Let's take some bones. Let's go out to the cemetery. We'll smoke some bones. If you don't know what that is, that's a joint, basically. And we'll drink some beer and we'll talk to the dead and we'll have fun tonight. Pretty outlandish. Like, my dad was born and raised LDS. Throughout his adulthood, did not partake. But he never had a ghost experience. He said he heard a scream one night when he's by himself at the farmhouse, but it was what we call a cougar. We didn't have mountain lions in Arkansas. The only cougars that we ever saw were black cats, and people say those don't exist. But there was a scream, sounded like a woman being killed, which is a cougar call. So until my dad got with my mom, in the house that I was basically born into, there was an old man. He was on the Evans side of the family. He used to be an inhabitor of that property, but he'd sit in the rocking chair on the front porch, and me and my sister would play at his feet, especially me, because I was just a little baby. He was very upset when we moved from that house, but my dad said one night he's laying in bed, and he'd go through a Louis L'Amour or any sort of book, like within hours. He'd be done with the book, and I was always dumbfounded, like, Dad, how the hell do you go through a book so fast? Like, I can't even imagine. But he'd go through like several books every day, generally Louis L'Amour or whoever else, and he said he was sitting there one night reading that, and all of a sudden he heard a blood-curdling woman scream, and he left and didn't come back till the next day. Pretty sure it was a cougar. Although my grandpa Thomas saw a woman in white go across the pane window in the front window there in Huntsville. I think it's called Ubannon Hill or something like that in Huntsville, Arkansas. But that's where the Thomas side, and then Kentucky and wherever else. My grandma Nova O'Brien, she came from Canada, but her grandpa came from Ireland. John O'Brien Thomas, and her grandmother was, can you believe it, Mary Catherine Gallagher. Remember the chick from Saturday Night Live that sniffs her armpits? I'm just kidding. Really not the same person, but it's funny that they have the same name. Mary Catherine Gallagher. It makes me laugh. Anywho, on that note, we are going to go to our second musical break. On this break, we have Griff. I love this guy. He's from Toronto, Canada. Give it up. He's doing Freedom, Let Freedom Ring. Then we have Tamara Bubble, who has been our main course this evening with I'm It, Natural Born Winner. And then we have Prime Example, and Roy Washington is actually a member of this band, and he is our musical host. He's the one that provides all of our music. If you can, go out and thank him for allowing us to have music on our breaks instead of annoying commercials. Dancing Machine is the name of this song, and if you haven't busted your booty tonight, like, this will be your booty busting song. And then we got Tamara Bubble again with Pringles. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this musical break.
Okay, yo, here's the scoop. You can still be a slave, you're whipped and loop.
that's the truth. Got big houses, nice cars, that's real cute, but it doesn't mean nothing, you ain't free to choose. When I say free to choose, no alarm clock, don't gotta hit the snooze. The world is backwards, I'm so confused. They say freedom of speech, but when you speak your mind, they blow a fuse. Just being honest, common sense ain't common, it's kind of ironic. My freedom, recently bought it, now I'm a target. If I do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, come on man, let freedom ring. Yeah. United States become divided states. The world is filled with all kinds of shades, and still resegregate. Parents separate from the children, that's not okay. We should be free to laugh and play. Do it now before you pass away. Fight for what's right, enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie. Brainwash, social media full of lies. Go to work, pay bills, then you die. Need a breakaway, guns, get rid of the AKs. Our ancestors paved way since the slave days, but we still hurting. Carry that burden. Stop playing victim. Beat the system. Love is love. It should be shown. Can't grow unless you leave your comfort zone. This I know. I learned all this from the mentorship. Kids don't know what independent is. Take advantage what your parents did. Go against the grid. You have to. Like going to the bathroom. Learn the right songs. Cause of Matthew. Liberty like statue. They call now the present. Cause it's a gift. It should be cherished. Last name fearless. Not Harris. All thanks to my parents' parents. Now, love the last name every time that I hear it. Cause I know what it represents. Climb the fence. So now I got freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing. Freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing.
Just make hits. You won't do all that posting, naked pics for likes, and I ain't make this up. I can't fake this. Seeing and loving and feeling and breathing it. like that. Cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. That's it. Saying it, doing it, running it, being lit. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm a lover and a fighter and a giver and a pleasure and pain and boss deliver it out. Yeah, I make this look real easy. Everybody hate Chris, but I'ma win like breezy. But I started later on the way to the top and can't stop, so don't push not one button on this elevator. They try to push my buttons to start levitating, rise above it all. I can tell that you fake when you're shaking my hand, and the smile on your face shows me even you're greeting and meeting and love is hating. I'm actually amazing, but modestly saying I ain't waiting for co-songs or playlists, cause I ain't nowhere close to my greatness. I don't do all that boasting, just make hits. Yo, I don't do all that posting, naked pics for likes, and I ain't make this up, I can't fake this. Seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, being lit. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, being lit. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm the one you gon' call when you're lonely. I'm the new girl on the block you gon' show off to your homies. I'm telling you now we gon' vibe in the booth. How you crave another feature like I'm your sweet tooth. All my people wanna see me shine, but I don't pray for you to fall cause I don't play with karma. When I slide through it's gon' be bad timing like watch out little homie, watch out. I'm
hop, we been poppin' like
Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of a strange beat. New track from the crates, but the same me. Lights on, bills paid, bring the same heat. Couldn't picture me spend the same unless you bring me. Low key, humble brag, never change me. New money coming in, the bank's changing. The quarters to dollars to checks every hour. That money come in when I sleep or I shower. That's motivation, that dedication. I can see my dreams, I'm already chasing. That bezel clean, and watch me embrace it. I'm a single girl, but already taken like a stick-up kid. They already shaking. Old Harlem, Brooklyn, being known for break-ins. Bubble on deck, being known for caking. Stacking and saving that move up out the hood money. This that, we been eating good money. This that, really wish you would, homie. This that, see you laughing but broken funny. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. We been poppin', look on. Love the money, but the money love me long time and on. Yeah, them bills, so got the money with my own ground. That move up out the hood money. This that, we been eating good money. This that, really wish you would, homie. We been poppin' like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of investing. I'm talking more than dice games and I'm scratch offs. Lottery jackpots and $100 million. So who you think they making money on the backs of? Ain't no gambling today. Ain't no gambling with my money. That I built up, got my money strong, yeah, my money long, it's my money song. Not one business, but no business. Natural growth, I mean no business. New growth like my natural hair. Yeah, I'm 10 toes down in the show business. Like back up off, man, ain't no move around, no business. Bring the track up, with the tracks out in the booth, way steady running your mind, talking this and that. But it's that, move up out the hood money. This that, we been eating good money. This that, really wish you would, homie. This that, see you laughing but broken funny. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. We been poppin', look on. Love the money, but the money love me long time and on. Yeah, them bills, so got the money with my own ground. That move up out the hood money. This that, we been eating good money. This that, really wish you would, homie. We been poppin' like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them chips.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight you have been listening to me, TessaTNT, as I garble and jarble and have diarrhea of the mouth. Basically, I've been telling you my history. First, I started off with non-paranormal person for those that I try not to offend throughout my life and let them get to know me, and then later on, once I trust somebody, I can share these other stories that I've shared with you. I'm at the point where I don't care anymore, so I'm just like telling you all my stories as I remember them because, man, it kind of goes in a shuffle. Some things remind you of other things and you go from there. But it is Andy Mate's birthday. He was just on here. He's switching over to his computer and he'll be back on, so make sure you put out those well wishes for his birthday, or as Mr. Kind and Gentle Sir Dennis Dyke would say, the anniversary of his birth. Which is the same thing, basically, Dennis. But we got Dennis Dyke on the line, and we also have Mr. Jim Morris from Scotland on. You guys, welcome, and thanks so much for calling in. Yeah, yep, I can hear you perfectly. Oh, what was that? Oh, I think that was just the camera. I thought he was trying to show me something for a second. Yeah. Nice. Uh-oh. Maybe there's a wire loose or something. Or maybe it just fizzled out. Well, my first one, okay, so I tried the headset thing, and that didn't work on even Skype for me, or even on my phone, like my earbuds do. And then for my first mic that I bought to do SOAR radio, SOR, and then to do this, I had the Meteor mic, which looks like the old classic, like original, very beautiful platinum chrome, like silver mics. And so I had that at first, and then I bought this Yeti Blue mic once I got enough money again, and then gifted to me from Dan the Man, aka Jack Mackerel. He gave me a snowball mic, which I really appreciated. It was really cool. Like, it was between the snowball and this one, but I love this one so much, and it seemed like it had more to it than the other one did, so I never opened it and was able to regift it to, I regifted it to Sleepy Dave, because his mic went out and he didn't have one, so I sent him that one. Like, it would have cost less in postage. Like, Dan could have just gone and given it to him, but he gave it to me, so I gave it back to Sleepy. But yeah, it's cool how shit works. Yep. Why, thank you. Yes, and if you'd like to call in, our number is 970-335-9596. Grab your pen or pencil, because it's 970-335-9596. If you have Skype, call in that way. If not, just use your phone. You can get through either way. But yeah, we're taking calls this hour, and I'm so glad Dennis came in. Mr. Jim Morris helps me out so much. He's helped as far as, financially. He's also helped with his time, which means for me so much, because I hate doing stuff by myself. I'm like, does anybody really appreciate it? Yeah, it's Sunday Fun Day, so if you're not wearing your jammies, put them on right now. Grab a cocktail, grab your bone, grab your bowl, whatever you need. Cigar, cigarette. Get into the calm space, the Grus Frabra. A blunt. Every time I buy cigars, they think, and I've had them say to me, wow, you're going to have a pretty big party tonight, huh? Because every time I go to the college gas station, I stock up because it's 99 cents each instead of $1.49. And they're like, man, where's the party at tonight? And I'm like, I actually smoke these. I don't put weed in them. I put weed into this, not to this. Like, damn, that's hardcore. I'm trying to quit, but I'm just not a quitter. But yeah, we had Andy mate on for his birthday, and then he said he's going to log into the computer and come back, which I said before. But go ahead, Dennis.
Yes, and so you tried to quit smoking?
Yeah. It did. Okay, so I've quit several times for lengths and amounts of times, and I always end up going back. First time I quit was because I was pregnant with my first daughter, and then I started again because I was living with my dad after I moved out of my auntie's, who's now my mom. Moved into my dad's house. We got in a fight, and I was like, fuck this, I just need a cigarette. So I went and bought some, and I started again, and then I quit again years later due to another pregnancy. Then I started again, and then so last time I remember quitting was shortly after I met everybody on SOR and found another paranormal family and such, and went out to California for the UFO conference in San Francisco. I met Mr. Dave Scott, and I met Eric with a K, and Beyond the Strange Dave, god dang, what is his last name? I'm so bad with names. But you know who I'm talking about. No, Beyond the Strange. Dave Cruz, yeah. I didn't get to meet Joe Roop. God dang, I want to meet that guy. Yeah. I met Doogie, like, not in person, but online. But I've met so many people online, but I even met, what's her name? Geraldine Orozco and a few other people. Oh, God. I got a picture with, what's his butt? Oh, yeah. He's so hard to get on the show. I don't want to go on. Oh, Andy doesn't want to go on the radio for his birthday. It's okay. We won't make you. It's your birthday. No, he was on Ancient Aliens. He's been on Dave's show. No, not Mike Barra. He's the skinny dude with the glasses and the kind of thinning hair, and he always wears a suit. Oh, what the crack is his name? What is his name? Anyways, he showed up. We had Gogo Teresa, me, man, what is that other chick's name? I can't remember. Dave Scott. We were having a party, and there's a knock on the door, and I'm like, I'll get it. And so I open the door, and here's this guy. He comes in, and I got a cool picture with him and stuff. And I've tried to get him on the show, but he's been busy with Ancient Aliens. And, oh, you're supposed to tell me. I'm just kidding. I would remember, but I'm so bad with names. That is my worst thing. I never forget a face, but I remember your name. Yeah, and his brother has been in deep as far as UFO and other things, too. Oh, God. It's bugging me so bad. That'd be cool. How cool would it be to have that guy that stuck his finger in a light socket on Giorgio Tsoukalos? How cool would that be? Holy shit. My hair would be like that. I'd be so surprised and blown away. My hair would, even though it's like a foot long, will be sticking up in the air. Kind of like, yeah, Aquanet. So you said you had something important you were going to share. Was it that you have guests lined up, or did you have another story? Yeah, it's no holds barred. Like we're not on the terrestrial stations. We're on the interweb, and this is marked explicit. So feel free to speak freely. Telekinesis. Telekinesis, when you can like touch and bend things and such, like manipulate physical objects without touching it. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Grannies. Oy. Mm-hmm. Weird. It says that they can't hear you on here. What the hell? Let me look. Like, I can hear you, but why can't they hear you? What the crack is happening? So it's been silent this whole time. It's amazing. Let me look really quick. Holy shit, Nikes. Yeah, it's on the right one. Wasabi. Weird. I'm sorry, guys. That is so freaking weird. I just finally opened up my cell phone and they said they can't hear you. Silence? Yeah, that's not what you want on a show. What the crack happened? There's no mute button on. It's on stereo. Let's try cable output. Nothing coming in there. I don't know. That is so strange. Windows drowned. Say something. Oh, let's do this. 1, 2. Oh, man. Showing all their stuff. I'm just repeating you because you're still not coming through, but I'm going to check over here on the Skype real quick. Please keep on talking. I'm trying to work it out. Work it out. Oh, shit. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Okay. I'll talk forever, but you got to pick up after this.
All right.
Because I'm out of words now. Go further. Shit.
Yeah, you're coming through now. Okay, so just start from the beginning. Just kidding. Sorry. It was my Skype settings. I'm glad I went there instead of going into the brains and guts and stuff of my computer and trying to do it that way. I'm like, it's got to be Skype. It's always Skype. And how the heck did that change? Only my mic changes from my Yeti mic to my camera mic because during the after party to hear you guys without wearing my headphones and getting worse cornflower ear, I'll take my headphones off and put it on the camera mic. That way there's no feedback. Otherwise I use this mic. But yeah, sorry Dennis. I did not realize it until I saw in the chat. But yeah, like Jojo said, shift happens. And I believe that's Gigi Rabbit's show, eh?
Yeah, shift happens. Gigi's show. Gigi and beg my forgiveness. Morticia. Yeah.
Morticia, yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, they're quite a combination. But yeah, we were getting into multidimensionally planning, like in your dream time, where that you have. I have to discern between his subconscious dream and where it becomes where that I'm out of body or multidimensionally planning, right? If you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Where that I'm sharing this 3D with my what do you call them? Etheric beings, right?
Ethereal.
From ethereal, yeah. And then they share back with me, right? And they, it's like I share with you, they share with me. It's like they teach me lessons, stuff like that. and then we play at the end of it, just before I wake up, right? So yeah, it's like stages for me, right? So I go through my subcon, all right? It's like blah blah blah, a bunch of fucking bullshit, right? That's why I try to clear my daily events, my 3D distractions, because I don't want to carry them. Like any questions or doubts or anything like that, it'll carry into your dream time, my dream time, right? I don't need that interfering with the time that when I sleep, right? Because my body's sleeping, like resting. My mind still runs. Yeah, yeah, exact, right? And it's really, really weird. Like it's interesting because a lot of my psychic friends or whatnot, I ask them about their dream time all the time because this fascinates me. And a lot of them say they don't remember their dreams. They don't remember. And I find this fascinating. I say, why? Like, I question them. It's like, I'm not judging them. It's just like, do I have what's my problem? Because I remember it all. Like, my brain never shuts off. And, like, my mind. And many of them now are saying that, Dennis, yeah, I'm starting to remember these things, this and that, the other thing, not to get into details. And I say, that's cool. What are you remembering now? And they'll share their experience. And I said, all right, that makes sense. Well, to me, right? Like, who am I to say? I'm just a dude that just floats around in his own mind. And yeah, it's very, very interesting. And because of this pandemic and everything, this human consciousness has been shifting and blah, blah, blah. And, go further. And yeah, sensitive people are becoming more sensitive. And the sheeples and lemmings are becoming more blinded.
I really feel bad for those lemmings. Sheeple, I feel bad for them too, but the lemmings, I really do feel bad for them.
No,
They're
man,
really bad.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
One, like, rolls into a ball and off the cliff, and they're like, hey, where's it going? Ah! Oh, guy.
Okay, here's one for you. Okay, here's one for you. Talk analogies with sheeples or lemmings jumping off a cliff. And I'd be the one lemming, halfway down the cliff with his arm out, watching all these lemmings, just drop to their deaths. And I'll put my arm out for one lemming. Pop! And I'll bring him in. All right, not going over. I got something to talk to you about.
Hopefully they go the other way and it all, like, adds up to more and more and more, but...
yeah, right?
Chain reaction.
Like,
butterfly effect.
Oh, God's sake. Well, it's like leading a horse to water, right? It's like when the horse don't want to drink, get rid of him because there's a whole herd right behind him waiting. They're thirsty. And I'm not
get the
gonna
hell
beat
out
a
of
dead
here.
Horse. Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, man. Get out of here, man. Other people here, all right? Well, horses, whatever. Like, you can't save all the lemmings. Well, not save, but, like, fuck. Sorry for the language.
Oh, it's okay. We're explicit.
Explicit, yeah.
Yeah, it's marked explicit for YouTube. So, like I said, feel free to roam about the cabin. And, it's not like you have to use cuss words all the time, but sometimes it's called for. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think so. Like, some people get offended. Whatever. If you need to get offended, go ahead and do that. Hope you feel better later, but I'm not going to let you being bothered bother me. Hopefully. I try really hard. Because I'm empathic and stuff, and so sometimes it does bother me, but I'm like, hopefully I can just, like a water off a duck's back, get over it, but sometimes it just, like, really gets you right in the A.
Tessa, never let the way you express yourself interfere with how you think you are expressing yourself. Just say it. This is the big issue that people's got right these days. Even with impasse. Okay.
Well, when people get offended, I'm like, okay, it reminds me of Pee Wee Herman. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Like, I'm really not sorry that you're offended because I'm really not saying anything offensive, but everybody has sand in their vagina. Even if they don't have one, maybe it's their mangina. But it's just like, really? Like, we went from being old school and hard and stuff to now, oh, God, you're offending me. What you're saying I don't agree with, so now I'm so offended. Like, I love to hear everybody's input and go from there. Like, I'm not offended. I enjoy it. And other people are just like, stop. I can't handle it.
Yeah, no.
So I've switched my camera off. I'm having my breakfast. So I'll still be here.
Well, I hope it's very nice. Nice warm breakfast.
Just cheese on toast.
Oh, yes.
Cheese on toast.
One thing, Jim, Tessa, is I never apologize for anything. I regret nothing. And the only thing I do apologize for is mentioning, I'm sorry. Yeah, like you mentioned, I'm sorry you feel offended what I just mentioned to you. Okay? I'm sorry for that. Okay? I apologize for that I offended you. Okay?
Hey?
You know, pick up your bags, right? And carry on. Because I am it's like, ask me if I care. Like, well, this is the trick though. I do care, but
well, like, you have to care to a certain extent, but not to the point that it brings you down. It's important to take note of it and be aware of it because could be many going on with this, which it is insane. Oh my God. When I pulled into my house earlier, okay, so I ran to the gas station to get another Monster because I had run out and I needed one because I'm still not back to full par as far as like being sick. But when I'm coming back, I pull in and my neighbor that has, they call them the Trumpers, the maintenance and construction guys next door call them the Trumpers. They thought my lost cat came from that house and they named him Trumpy, and I'm pretty sure that's why he ran away. But yeah, so they have all kinds of ignorant shit going on over there, and even COVID-19 is fake. The media is lying to you. And this lady just months ago was selling masks. Like, what the fuck is going on? Well, I pull in, and she's standing there, and she's taking a picture, and I'm looking because she's got, I think, 3 kids. 4. Yeah, she's got an older one, too. 3 little ones, 1 older one. Her girlfriend is in the overhang. They have this overhang port for their parking. Not a garage, but just a roof and such. Her girlfriend is like this up to a buck that has 1 horn missing. It's fucking rutting season, and you're like trying to pet this buck. I don't know. He could have like killed that lady. I'm like, good God, if I had not gone by at that point, she might have died. So they might be irritated at me, and they probably are. Like, I think they hate me anyways because they hang out with Lisa Z. I'm not going to say her name for certain purposes, but
yeah, it's your neighbor. But
yeah,
who cares?
she's another Trumpa, and they'll hang out now. They're like coagulating and growing. It's pretty crazy. At the end of my driveway, where nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Oh, so are you a noticed Democrat or something, or
no?
Like,
no,
what?
I hate labels. I'm nothing.
Yeah, you're just neutral.
Yeah, I'm just like floating around out here like Stardust, which is a part of me. Holy shit, tards. Yeah. I don't, like, people have called me libtard and other things, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, libtard.
Libertarian?
Libtard.
Yes.
You're a fucking libtard. Like, that's their number one go-to, you know?
I thought it was just,
not.
okay, whoa. All right, I don't know American politics, but, what's going on, Carl? But yeah, libertarian. I thought it was just Democrats and Republicans. Republicans is red and Democrats is blue.
Carl,
That's
turn
all
down
I
your
know.
speaker a little bit. You're echoing, Carl. Human Carl.
Yeah, Carl, getting a little echo.
I think it's like the closedness of like the UFO. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't do
Welcome, Carl.
politics.
Human Carl.
But I do aliens.
You just said doo-doo.
I do aliens. I do aliens. They like me. Well, some don't. A lot of don't. Some just want to get me. They want to get my energy. You. Try.
This whole echo thing is reminding me of the Grinch where he's like, "You're a loser." And then he said some other stuff. He's like, "I'm going to whisper to myself so you won't hear me and you can't echo back what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah." And then all of a sudden it comes back, "You're a loser."
Hey, this is funny. There's a song I'm listening to the radio in the background. You're a loser, baby. Why don't you kill me?
So head to toe.
Oh, I'm a loser, baby.
That's Beck.
Yes. Anyway.
Carrying on.
It's on the background.
So we have T-minus 20 minutes and counting before we're off the airs. So, Skywatcher, a.k.a. Human Carl, did you have anything going on recently? Like, on New Year's Eve, I saw a UFO. I don't know if you guys heard that. But have you guys had anything going on, like, paranormally or UFOically or those damn aliens that you'd like to share? Carl?
Yeah. Well, they come to me in my dreams, and they don't like me. Anyway.
Why?
Why? Because I spot them. Like the negative energies, right? Yeah, I know. They always try to get me. But anyway, in any regard, Carl, any experiences you've had yourself?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Dennis, can you
Yes.
turn your music down real quick?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I believe.
Thank you. Go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
Yeah, no experiences. That echo was I had my earbuds in, and I was listening to your sound was coming out of your earbuds. It up. That wasn't the echo.
Yeah, you were sounding good, then you started to break up. I'm like, damn it.
Did I?
Maybe hold that little mic. piece
Using
up
a new
little bit.
computer.
Oh, cool. If your ear, is there a mic thing on your earbuds that is plugged in? I don't know. Maybe that's neither here nor there.
No.
But yeah, if I'm wearing earbuds that's plugged into
wait.
something, my mic is right here. It's a little like cube thing on my right ear. Otherwise, it could be your computer mic. I think sometimes, like, if people talk too loud, it's hard for the computer to decipher it. Kind of breaks up. If you talk more quiet, it'll pick it up better. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't done that in a while. But with Lynn, we kind of get the same thing going on. Which he's got a new mic and all kinds of cool stuff coming. You guys hold on to your panties.
Yeah, I'm just learning this thing. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, it's like digitized. It's in and out. Can you hear me now? But the end of everything was like cut off. Dang it. So nothing really you said like paranormal or UFOs or anything?
Somewhere else. Okay. No. Nothing.
Yeah, the only thing we really had was the other day. I think it was New Year's Eve. And I went outside to smoke and I saw this orangish red light in the sky. And then it would flare and then go back to normal, and flare again, go back to normal, and just stay that dim orangish red color for a while, and then it would flare out again, like where it would get really bright. For me, I have astigmatism, so it kind of looks like star-like. And then it just disappeared, but my daughter Kinsey and her guy friend Scott were there and had seen the same thing. It disappeared, and then it showed up again later, about maybe 50 yards further down from where it was, doing the same thing, and then it flashed out again. It was so weird. Moon said, "Is that Carlton, your doorman?" No.
Carlton. Sorry.
Do the Carlton. No. Carl's cool, man.
Carlton. They keep leaving. They keep quitting.
I'm no quitter. You can count on me.
Okay.
Sharon said, when people at work tell her that she offends them, she says, "Your face offends me."
All right. Grab a badge. There you go. Own it. That's it, man.
Yeah, I had some guy tell me today, he's like, "I don't know why people wear those things. It's not like it's really helping." And I'm like, I have kids to think about, and I use my common sense, and I think even though I'm not wearing my C95 or my double filter one, whatnot, I'm just wearing a hanky that has little sparkly butterfly on the front. At least I have something there as some sort of barrier instead of going straight into my nose holes or into my mouth. Like, I have something there to stop it from penetrating as much as it would if it is there. I have kids to think about, is what I told them. I don't know. Better to have it than to not, and people think it's all a political thing and trying to take you over and silence you, like try to silence me through a little freaking handkerchief or a C95 or whatnot. Not gonna work. You're still gonna hear me.
I got a book for Christmas.
The Encyclopedia of Misinformation.
Misinformation.
Noise.
Yeah. And I'm reading. I just flip open these pages, left, right, and center. I don't care. And they got a honey pot. Okay, they're describing the honey pot, Carl. You familiar with what a honey pot is? Yeah.
I think I do.
All right. They describe it as like a trail of honey enticing a grizzly bear to a stash of syrup combs. A honey pot is a decoy used to lure hackers. The serpentipitous bait typically resembles vulnerable data, which cybersecurity professionals monitor for unauthorized access. If an outsider interacts with the honeypot, they know a hacker lies in the midst and can identify the evasive techniques. The pilot of the first season of crypto thriller Mr. Robot hinges on, blah. And you know what the honeypot is for me? It's called a 5-gallon bucket, man. You just sorry. You just sit down and you just do your business. That's your honeypot. Anyway.
That's not my honeypot. I got a different kind of honeypot.
That's your honeypot, man. If you don't have a toilet, you got a honeypot. That's what it is. Anyway. I just gone through this encyclopedia. We got the Cannibal Holocaust. You ever heard of that? Cannibal Holocaust?
Well, I know, hearing about the true story of how Moby Dick was written and other seafaring journeys and even people like the Donner Party, people that get stranded and you're in a group of people, just realize eventually you're probably going to get eaten. So, make sure you play your cards right and try to be a nice individual. Happy little peaceful little person that does your part, pull your weight, and hopefully you don't get really sick and die or whatever. If I die and we're in a bad situation, you can eat me.
What?
I'll allow it.
Where'd this come from?
Well, you said cannibalism or whatnot. I don't know.
What? I'm just talking about a honeypot. You're talking about cannibalism now.
Yeah, there's different honeypots. If you're stranded out on sea or in the wilderness in the freezing ass cold and you have no food, you're going to end up eating your friends. There's different honeypots. Yeah. Like for me, I have like things I grow and things I enjoy that I do for myself. Things that are good for me. That's my honeypot.
What? Is that your friend?
This little radio station. Sometimes I eat it. Could be the corn or the green beans or the squash and zucchini. Those things go off hardcore. Honeypots. There's different variations. Because you said your honeypot was what? Because I didn't agree with your honeypot, and I give you variations.
Yeah, it's a 5-gallon bucket where you go to the bathroom in a cabin. And you just dump
I thought that was the honey hole.
No, what? No, man. No, it's honey pot. It's got to be transferable.
Well, there's the bedside ones, and then there's the outhouse one that hopefully you dug it deep enough.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well,
we have 10 minutes before we're off, so.
Okay, let me find another one. This is funny. Cosplay. What the hell is that? Cosplay. Dark energy. Here's a good one. Here, I'll see if I can read this. Dark energy has never been seen, heard, smelled, tasted, or observed in any manner. No one can say for sure that it exists. Scientists have neither studied dark energy in a telescope nor examined it under an electron microscope. They have. This book is 2 years old. It does not emit radiation or absorb light. Blah, blah, blah. Its quiddity is only a reference. And yet astrophysicists predict dark energy constitutes 68% of the mass and the energy of the universe. Well, that's wrong. It's 99%, in my opinion. Well, 98.5. Yes, predict. Science cannot say absolutely because dark energy is pure theoretical. Dark energy exists only because mathematical calculations of mass and gravity predicted should exist. It is required to, in parentheses, is required to corroborate the predominant scientific belief that the expansion of the universe is accelerating. Parentheses. Without dark energy, the rest of the known universe does not make any sense. All right, I see that. It's like a binder. It's all like a binder. Like it's like making freaking damn stupid bread. Science is a history of speculation, unseen laws, effects, and entities, and hypothetically might exist, but require data from experimentation to verify. Relentlessly inquisitive and skeptical science will one day prove or disprove the existence of dark energy. But for now, it is a placeholder in the formula that holds the universe together. What's your feeling on that, Tessa? Dark energy.
I think there is dark energy. I think CERN has played with it. I think they're trying to build it up because it is powerful in its own way. But for me, when I think of it, like there's different variations in my mind, like dark energy as far as spiritually and paranormally. And then there's dark energy as far as like the backdrop and the throughout of the universe where there's not that light or that energy. There's that dark energy that is void of everything, you know? There's no light, no nothing there. It's just complete and utter darkness.
All right. Do you believe that there's no no source core consciousness within that dark energy? Like it's void? Do you believe that it's void?
Well, it's void of most things, but it doesn't mean everything. like eventually a black hole will pop up or different random things. There could be something intelligent in the darkness. Like I've seen so many different thoughts and different things on that where it might have its own sort of intelligence.
Yes.
Its own sort of like velocity, or I'm not sure what word to use for it, but just because it's void of most things such as light and so on and so forth doesn't mean it's void of everything. But it's expansive, like it's everywhere, and there's those points of light, so it does have that, but it's not made up of it. It just has that as kind of decorations or so something. I don't know. Rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. Yeah, let's go down it. I'm looking through this thing, this book, and it's funny. What do you know of Frankenfood? Have you ever heard of this Frankenfood?
Like beef that's not really beef. It's like made in a laboratory. Frankenfood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankenfood.
I don't want any. I'm scared. Are we already eating it?
Yeah. No, you gotta be scared.
Frankenfood.
Frankenfood is a scare term for genetically modified food.
Blech.
It derives from Mary Shelley's 1818 novel in which Victor Frankenstein bioengineers a grotesque monster from body parts scrounged from slaughterhouses and graveyards. Genetic modification of food is widespread, with most bioengineering focused on high-yield cash crops like soybeans and corn. Only one genetically modified animal has been approved by the FDA for human consumption: an Atlantic salmon, injected with genes from both a Chinook salmon and an ocean pout. Opponents of genetic engineering dubbed it as the Frankenfish. Have you heard of this? Genetically modified livestock has been tested, but not yet sold. Nonetheless, as much as 70% of food in the grocery store has some genetic modification. So yeah, GMOs. What do you feel about that, gentle people?
It's happening. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah. That's Monsanto, right?
Yeah. There's worse than that. There's a vaccine that's undergoing manufacture called Valvena, right? And what they do is the booster into this vaccine, they extracted the DNA from moths, believe it or not, moth larvae. And I was checking through this, I said, this is crazy. They've actually got farms that grow these moth larvae, millions of them, must be billions of them. I say, what the hell would they want to make so many of these things for? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you're eating in some of these things, you know that?
Hey.
Yeah, I know.
Could be a key ingredient. Well, you guys, on that note, we are at the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds of our time. Thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with me. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. I know we have new listeners because we are on another network, and you know, like I said, from Sunday on, I was basically dead till Thursday. I started to get some sort of pulse, and I didn't have anything planned for this weekend. I don't like to plan too far ahead. Things work out better when I fly by the seat of my pants, because that's what I do. But thanks, Jim, Morris, and Human Carl, aka Skywatcher, and then we have Dennis Dyke for coming on for the last hour. It was awesome to have you guys and hang out and, you know, get some different perspectives going on, different questions. There's so many out there.
Yep.
Thank you, Tessa.
Thanks, Tessa.
Thanks, guys. And thank you to all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, Spreaker, Twitter, Periscope, which, if you didn't know, Periscope is going bye-bye. So rest in peace, Periscope. iHeartRadio, and wherever else you may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. I had a wonderful time. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Being like the host, the guest, and all about But I can't wait to do it again. Till like next weekend, we have Mr. Psychic Chris Garcia. He's going to be doing free psychic readings. It's going to be Sunday Fun Day again. I'm not sure quite what's happening there, but we have a lot of different guests lined up. Just haven't put them in their prospective spots. But you guys, don't forget, we are all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. If you guys want to join the Skype after party, you can give us a call at 1-970-335-9596. Until next time, nighty night, love and light, and take care of my yous. And that's a wrap.